Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mental Spot, where men talk about life, love, and leaving the toilet seat up. We are here again for another Wednesday edition. We're on episode, what is this? Episode 6? Already. So we are going to give everyone time to log on to our broadcast. Welcome to the Mental Spot. And as usual, I'm doing some sharing. So if you are joining us live, please share with your followers and let them know that we are live inside the mental spot. And leave me a comment. Let me know that you're here so that I can hear you, that you can hear me, and I can see you. Hey, Damaris, I see you, love. How are you? Welcome. How's everybody doing? Yay. All right. I'm just sharing this to a couple of pages and a couple of groups because we want everyone to be involved and come and joining us inside the mental spot. Welcome everyone. I know last week I was here solo and I was able to broadcast on Instagram too. So some of my Instagram folks, they're like, we want to be on. I want to know what's going on. I'm like, we got to come join us on Facebook. That's where we are, right? Oh, honey, I hope you feel better. I'm glad you tuned in. Well, I appreciate you tuning in, Mr. Maris. And you aren't feeling well. That means a lot to me. Thank you. All right, everyone, as more people are joining again, welcome to the Mental Spot. Today's episode is going to be another great one. We are going to be talking with Mr. Nicholas Powell, who is a performance psychology consultant. We're going to find out what that is about. And again, our topic is, does performance impact relationships? And he's going to tell us how to get your mind, your M-I-N-D, how to get your mind in the game. I cannot wait. It's going to be such a great conversation tonight. So while we have a couple more people joining, I want to make sure that we are also being conscious of time because, our conversations get a little good. We don't want to go over our time. So again, welcome those who are still joining inside the mental spot, those that are watching live and those that will be watching on the replay. For those that don't know me, my name is Coach Shaquan. We do this almost every week. I hope that we've become friends by now. So I am a certified relationship coach and transformational speaker and energy leadership trainer and expert. What does that mean, coach? All of those big words. Well, I believe that there are a lot of coaches out here, and I believe that we are doing a lot of good work. I pride myself, and I'm I'm very proud of the fact that I went through the certification process, made an investment, a very large investment. So for me, that says I've had the necessary hours of training as identified by the ICF, which is the International Coaching Federation. So I know what I'm doing. I'm kind of vested in this thing, and so I love to have other professionals that are on watching, people that have been in the game and that understand all about mindset and all about really creating solutions and what it means to invest in yourself. And so I'm welcoming this conversation. Again, we're talking about performance, and we're going to find out some things about what it's going to take for you to get your mind in the game and how that's going to impact those relationships. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce my guest for this evening. I feel a little fuzzy here, and I'm not sure why, but we're going to work that out. All right, things happen, but that's okay. We're gonna be all right. All right, so let me go ahead and bring my guest into the broadcast. Please, everyone, help me welcome Mr. Nicholas Powell. How are you?
Hey, Coach Shaquan, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being my guest inside the mental spot.
Definitely a pleasure. It's definitely a pleasure being here.
Yes. So, the first question that I always like to ask is, how do we know each other? Like, how did we meet?
I had the pleasure to speak for Kim Burke
Yes.
when she had her event, and you were there as one of the main speakers, and it was electrifying. And I had to meet you after the presentation. I'm like, okay, I got to meet this lady. So definitely, I love the energy, and that's how we connected.
Absolutely, and likewise. And you drop these gems also. And shout out to Coach Kim Burke, the growth coach. Shout
Yes,
out, shout
yes.
out, shout out. And yes, we were both speaking at the event, and I'm like this when I'm sitting there listening to you. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a man that I must meet. I must get in the network, and I absolutely wanted to make sure that that I got you inside the mental spot. So let's talk about this. I want to first of all tell us a little bit about yourself.
Ah, so where do I start? I am originally from Kingston, Jamaica.
Yes, yes.
I came here to the U.S. on a track scholarship to McKendree College, and just being involved with track and field, got into coaching. I'm a certified coach in Jamaica. So after I graduated, I went on to college, have a degree in psychology and one in physical education, and went on to Lincoln University and was the assistant track coach there for several years, until I noticed that some of my athletes, they struggled, um, performance wise. They were training well, but performance wise they weren't doing so well, when it came to certain big meets.
Yeah.
And with my experience in psychology and physical education, I wanted to understand how to help them because they worked really hard.
Mhm.
And I went on to SIUE and got my master's in kinesiology. And upon graduating in 2011, I retired from coaching and started my own business, the Mind Game, and just been traveling, doing sports psychology. I am a father of two. My daughter's Naita is 12, and my youngest, McKenny, is 4 months.
Ooh, you got
Yeah,
fresh.
yes, yes. So I'm a single father out here doing it, but it's a pleasure. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. So other than that, during the day, I'm a social worker at WashU. Um, in the evening, I'm an adjunct professor at McKendree,
Okay.
and I do photography in St. Louis nightlife. I
Yeah.
run half marathons, 5Ks, and motivational speaker, and just I'm Jamaican. Did I say that? So if I didn't have that many jobs, then right now I consider myself underemployed because I only got 4 jobs. But
Because you
that's
know
me.
somebody watching is thinking that, like, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
And you did mention that you are single,
yes,
single, single,
yes.
single. So coach is gonna get into that later, but we want to get to the real stuff, the meat and the potatoes.
Got
So
you.
tell us exactly what a performance psychology consultant does.
So most people, a lot of people know it morely as sports psychology,
Hmm.
and sports psychology pretty much is helping providing individuals with the tools to help them be proper equipped for when it's time for them to perform.
Hmm.
Whenever the bigger the stakes is, the higher the anxiety. Are you hearing feedback?
No, no, no. I was gonna say I like that. You said to
Okay.
help. Yeah, just
So the
hearing.
higher the stake is the more pressure we put on ourselves.
Mm,
So my job is to provide our job, not just me, but our job is to provide individuals with the tools to help them relax during that time so they can perform. We tend to perform at our best when we're most relaxed.
mm.
So the
Yeah,
more comfortable we feel and confident we feel about a situation is the more relaxed. And the more relaxed we are is the better we perform.
yeah,
So
yeah.
my job is to provide athletes with the tools to help them relax so they can perform at their best.
Okay.
Not just at competition, but in training. Because if we train well, then most of the time we're going to perform well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So that is what I do. So I said I no longer brand myself as a sports psychology consultant because it's not just sports. I work with anybody who is willing to do the work, put in the work, hard work, and still not seeing the results. My job is to come in, help them reverse engineer their goals and go after it, provide them with the tools to go after it and
Yeah.
be successful.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And what I love about what you've said is, we're going to tie everything into relationships. Uh,
Hmm.
it's very important to understand that before you can be physically successful, when you're talking about your clients and helping them in their actual field, right? Really getting that mind together and the mental piece of it is so important. So what do you notice about the relationships that your clients have, just with how they're treating themselves and then how they're interacting and treating other people?
People who are confident in themselves tends to have better relationships with people
Mhm. Yeah,
because then it's going to be hard for me to trust other people.
yeah,
It's going to be hard for me to open up. One of the things and as we talk about go down the steps, one of the things that I definitely have my athletes do or my clients do is get a mentee.
hmm,
And they're like, well, I'm trying to figure it out. I need a mentor. And I help them. If you can find somebody and teach it, it builds confidence in what you're doing.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it builds a greater relationship. So when you're comfortable in who you are, then you notice the interaction with other people is a lot better. You're more open. You're not as and blunt and negative to other people because you feel good about who you are.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. All right, well, let's get into it because you got some gems and some good stuff to drop on us today.
Okay.
So let's talk about get helping us get our mind, MIND, in the game.
Okay. Okay. So when I start working with a client, the first thing I never tell a client that their goals are too big.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of people are like, no, maybe you want to set a smaller goal. When I started out with my business, I had somebody tell me that I should work with lower level clients before I try to talk to the professional athletes. I never
Yeah,
tell somebody their goals are too big because I don't know what their drive is. So once they have established their goals, the first thing we do is I find out what their motivation is.
hmm,
Why are you trying to do it?
yeah,
And motivation for we might be after the same goal, but the motivation might be different.
yeah,
So once you understand what your motivation is, I have you write it down. And it's not going to be a superficial thing when we work together, where in fitness, a lot of people say, well, I want to fit into this dress by X time.
yeah,
Or, I want to get the body ready for the beach or whatever.
hmm,
We dig deeper. What will that mean to you when you achieve that goal?
yeah.
There's a book, Successful Habits of Millionaire or Millionaire Successful Habits.
Okay,
And the guy, I can't remember his name, but he talks about the 7 layers of why.
I was curious to say
So when you talk about I want to look good for the beach. Okay, what will that mean? Why?
that.
You
Right.
remember when your kids ask you why, and it
Yes.
annoys you? It's
Yes.
breaking through that uncomfortable part because sometimes the core reason why we want it is not because I want to be fit for this dress. It's because what being fit in that dress represents to me and what it means to me.
Yeah.
And when we can dig deeper into the motivation behind why you're doing what you're doing and we document it, on days when you decide you don't want to go out to work out today or you don't want to eat the proper meal or that pizza looks so good or that ice cream makes you feel good, you remember why I'm not eating that today, why
Yeah.
that's not on my menu, why I'm not going to skip this workout. I was talking to somebody today, and when I first came here to college, the coach gave me a workout, and I'm like, this is crazy. I'm not doing this. And I call my coach in Jamaica. I'm like, dude, I'm coming home because I'm a certified coach in Jamaica. And when you tell me to do something that I didn't think that I wasn't trained to do,
Yeah.
I'm ready to come home. And the coach asked me one question. He's like, "Why are you there?" And I'm like, "I'm here to get this degree, but." And he's like, "No, why? Why? Because this degree is gonna help me to help my family in Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
love
it's no longer about me."
Yeah, I love how you talk about that, and people, and I was going to bring that up, and I'm glad that you said it first, is that motivation really, when you pull back the core of it, is really understanding that why, right? And so in terms of how you're working with your clients and thinking about them and performing well in their craft and whatever they're doing, that same type of motivation needs to be taken when you're talking about relationships, right? What's your why? Why are you
Exactly.
motivated to perform well in life, right? To do what you do well, to build healthy relationships with others. Like, what is your motivation? What is your why? Because if you don't have a clear understanding of what your why is, you're aiming, you're going, you're working for nothing. So if you, again, you're talking about the beach and getting your body right, getting your mind right. So yes, if as a wife, right, I want my body right, I want my mind right. And I know my why is because I want to look good, right? Personally. And I also want to make sure that I'm representing what I think is a wife. So if I'm representing the athlete, if I'm representing a mom, if whatever it is, you got to have your why and your motivation, right? Tell them.
I love it. And it's also important to understand why am I getting into certain relationships.
Yes.
Some of us get into relationships because it's on our checklist.
Mm-hmm.
They got this, they got this, they got this. But what would them having this means to me?
Yeah.
And we've seen the Tyler Perry movies where the people have the checklist, but they're whooping the other person's butt,
Yeah.
or they're cheating, or they're doing this. And it happens in real life because we went into this relationship not getting to know that person connect really, but because the checklist.
The
And,
check.
and and I can tell people that I have this person with the checklist,
Yes. Wow.
but
It's good.
it's not building me as a person.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right. So let's talk about your next one. What's the I?
So we're talking about the I. So the I now, once we know what our motivation is, then we have to be intentional in everything that we do. We have to position ourselves.
Yeah.
So that means we have to go out there and find out what it's going to take for me to achieve this goal. What it's going to take for me, and I'm bringing it back to relationships, what it's going to take for me to have a successful relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Can I be open? I
Yes.
have to practice that. Can I take criticism? Can I take somebody being submissive, however that sounds or look?
Right.
Um, can I manage my finances? Can he manage or she manage their finances? So when we get into these relationships, we have to know, be intentional in what we're doing. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And when I apply my why to it, it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know that we often think about intentions, whether whatever our goal is and whatever we're wanting to do. So I got to break this down, right? Do you
Okay.
think that who do you now? This is probably going to be a great debate. Who do you think typically has better intention or is more intentional, men or women, when it comes to reaching their goals? Be careful.
Oh, and I guess it depends on what the goals are.
Yeah.
You know, physical goals tend to be more guys,
Hmm.
and more emotional goals tend to be more women. That's what I've seen.
Yeah. I would
Does
agree.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, 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 okay. So it wasn't a big debate, but yeah, because guys tend to like things. You know,
Ooh.
men to like tend to like things,
Yeah.
and women tend to be more emotional, how it makes me feel type
Mhm.
as to what I can look at.
Right. And so again, just tying that in, the motivation, our why, right? And whether it's to reach a physical goal or like you said, a spiritual goal, an emotional goal, or whatever that is, our intentions and our why are typically, like you said, more emotionally guided than for men, which are more what you think more analytical.
It's tend to be, but lately, with the new millennials, it's kind of hard to stereotype with the millennials because you have women who are out here just shooting to make the big money or whatever, whereas you have some guys who want the position because it represents something to them,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is a switch. So I love the fact that it's not cookie cutter where one size fit all. People are now stepping out and trying new things. Guys are getting involved in yoga,
Yeah.
women are out here running. Like they just had a woman will be one of the first to be a head coach for a basketball team.
Yes. The NBA. Yes. Isn't that amazing?
Exactly.
Yes,
So
this is
so they're
definitely
not putting limits, and I love that, especially
yeah,
raising two daughters. That definitely means a lot to me.
yeah.
So
I love that. I love that. So we are talking inside the mental spot where men talk about life, love, and leaving the toilet seat up. My guest tonight is Mr. Nicholas Powell. He is a performance psychology consultant, and his company is called The Mind Game. He is breaking us off some tips, and we're really talking about does performance impact relationships. Now we're going to bring this all together as we keep going. Right now, he's dropping some dimes and some tips on us breaking down what it actually the acronym MIND means. So we started off with the M for motivation, and then we just finished talking about the intention. Now tell us, Nicholas, what are we talking about with this N?
so the N is being a nerd to your craft.
Ah!
I just started wearing glasses, so I had to add in the nerd because growing up, I didn't think I was the smartest guy. So now that I realize smart is a mindset, and how you approach life determines how successful you are.
Mhm.
In order to be a nerd to your craft, you have to study your craft. So
Yes,
in a relationship, when you know what works, then you got to study it
yes,
and how to become better at it. Um, and it might mean asking questions. One of my biggest thing, I talked about it earlier, where I recommend that my clients have mentees, but
hmm,
also we need mentors. If we don't find people who are doing it well, how are we going to learn from it?
yes,
Yeah, so some of us are like, I know everything, I can do it, I'll figure it out. But we are going to learn better from somebody. I can sit here and read 5 books, or I can talk to somebody who have read 5 books and applied it, and they're in 5 minutes, which is why you're in the field you're in, coaching, because you have had the experience and stuff that something that's going to take somebody 2 years to learn fully. You can share with them in 15 to 20 minutes
yeah,
or an hour session, and they're going to get that much momentum. So even if they make an error, they're going to be able to recover a lot quicker because they have the experienced mentor to guide them,
yeah, yeah. I
which
love
is
that.
which
Yes.
is where my role, because if they are supposed to study every aspect of their life from books, I got to how to be a wife, how to be a husband, how to be a business person, entrepreneur, a parent, a this. It's
Hmm.
going to take forever. You won't even have time for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you can find a mentor that you're learning from, and as you're teaching that a mentee, you're practicing that stuff again.
Yeah,
It's building your confidence. So
yeah,
now you're studying your craft, how to become the best wife,
Mm-hmm.
how to become best husband, how to be the best business person, how to take my game to the next level. You have to study this every day, and you can. The minute you say that I've made it, is the minute you start declining.
Yes. That
And a
is.
lot of people, like, I get it. And think about when you set a goal and you accomplish it. If you don't set another goal, you're going to be stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
So what I teach my clients is set goals, study. How can I get better at this? I'm a good cook. How can I get better at being this good cook?
Yeah.
How can I be better? And all I ask my people is to improve 1% each day. You
Yeah.
know, just one giving that's 365 you improve. You feel that gain is the more confident you are as you approach life. So you walk out here and you keep your head up, and when somebody tells you no, you smile. You're like, okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was looking for that no. It came a little bit later than I was hoping for, because if you're not hearing no, that means you're not putting yourself out there.
Say
You're
that
playing it.
again. Yes. That is definitely a business tip and for entrepreneurs. And, we talk about the no and what that means and what that does to you. Um, but absolutely. So I like this concept of being a nerd in your craft, really understanding and learning your craft because everyone you meet, and so this is something they taught us in coaching school, right? Everyone you meet will be your student and your teacher. And so
Yes.
oftentimes when we are in a place in our relationships or in our lives, when we want to achieve a goal or when we want to perform well at what we're doing, like I said, whether it be an athlete, whether it be a wife, a husband, an entrepreneur, or a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or whatever it is, a father, mother, whatever it is, if you do not take the time to invest, right,
Mm-hmm.
into learning it, being a nerd, reading. And here we're in an age of social media, even for those who are not willing to make the investment, because let's be clear, it's going to cost you something. So
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
it's going to cost you something. Okay, people. So
And we know that people value what they pay for, right?
absolutely. So you can go and listen to all the freebies on Facebook and on Instagram and do all of this and all of that until you put some coins on that, right? Until you
Yes.
really become a nerd in it, where you're studying it and you're making an investment in it, then your performance is definitely going to impact the success in the relationship and the success of
Exactly.
whatever your goal is. And I don't know that people really understand the value in that. So I love this concept of being a nerd. Love it.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. All right. So I'm loving these, y'all. And let us know that you are out here with your comments. If you have any questions, we are definitely here. Again, guest tonight inside the mental spot is Mr. Nicholas Powell. He is a performance psychology consultant. You have to go back to the beginning where he explains all of what that is. Again, we're talking your mind and how you can get your mind in the game. All right. So we've talked about motivation and we've talked about being intentional and your intention. We talked about being a nerd. Come on, Nicholas, drop this last one on us.
So the D stands for determination.
Determination.
Determination, because it's not an overnight thing.
Yes.
And a lot of people think, if I apply this great philosophy and I'm disciplined, right away everything is going to happen. And that is why it's a challenge for us.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of people not being successful, even though they come so close to it, they give up because they're like, it's not doing. I'm working hard, but it's not coming.
Yeah.
You understand? And some people don't want to fail, and they
Yeah.
don't understand that failing is a part of it. And it's the lessons that we learn through our failures is what's going to keep us, help us to take it to the next step.
Right.
And when you're determined that these goals are important to me, which comes back to the motivation and the meaning behind why I'm doing this work, is so important. It's making an impact, not just for me,
Yeah.
but for a greater good, then it's a lot easier to keep going.
Yes.
Not easy, easier, because
Say
it's
that
still going to be
again.
hard.
Yes.
I'm, I love sharing this story. When I started my business in 2011, I went out to South Korea and I wanted to work with professional athletes. And I didn't know anybody out there other than, like I wasn't staying with anybody out there. And I sat in front of the athlete village for 2 hours in the hot sun.
Wow.
And people just came and asked me, they're like, what you doing? Like some of the people who recognize me, like, what you doing? I'm like, man, I'm just waiting. And they're like, waiting for what? I said, opportunity.
Mm.
And I paid my way to South Korea. And when I got there, I almost gave up because where I thought I was staying was very far from the stadium. And I did not know how to speak Korean because I didn't study my craft. Like, I know
Yeah.
my skill, but I didn't study the country. And I started crying at 35. I'm out there crying like, I made it this far and I'm not gonna be able to get to the athletes because I don't know how to speak Korean and I'm dead in the middle of a area where nobody spoke English
Mm.
and I had to navigate my way.
Yeah.
So when I could have given up, but that's not who I am.
Yeah.
That's not what. When I understand why I was doing it, because athletes out here are working hard and need that support.
Yeah. Yeah.
2012, I'm at the Olympics and got even closer to the village and got turned back because I was not my passport or whatever didn't clear for me to go in.
Mm. So what
I
kept
didn't
you
give
in the
up.
determined? So this is the determination. You're talking through experience about once you are see the goal, once you set the goal. So I want y'all to be clear that he is talking from experience and what he teaches on in his clients that he helps them through this process. This is full of experience, right? Determined to reach your goal, motivated enough to actually go, get past
Mhm.
the fears and the mindset tells you, and really part of this is really building a healthy relationship with yourself, knowing who you are, right, being intentional about that, being a nerd, studying the craft. I love this, right, and then having the
Yeah,
determination, like, I'm gonna make this work.
and also with determination is having a great support system
Mm, yes, 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 yes.
because on just because you're being determined doesn't mean you don't want to give up.
Yeah.
And when you have a support system who understand your motivation and the things you're doing and what it will mean, they can encourage you. I have a phenomenal
Yeah.
support system.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about there are days I just want to cry. Yeah, things just not going.
Yeah.
And they'll just pull me to the side and say, hey, I got you.
Yeah.
Why? Remember, we got to eat.
Yeah.
Remember, now you got to give up. Remember, and they list my stuff. Everybody in my support system know my goals, why I'm working towards it,
Oh, that's
everything that I'm listing up to you.
yeah. That's
And
good.
you have to make sure that the people you put on your list is not just friends who are going to be yes men.
Mm-hmm. That's
I have a
big.
mentor. One of my mentor, my best friend, Teddy Blackett, most people know him, Be Free St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I tell him I'm doing something, he's like, okay, let's do it. I'm like, but I'm thinking, what's there to think about? Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. And as soon as I check it off, he's like, okay, I love it. I'm trying to celebrate. And he's like, okay, what's next?
That's
I know you're
interesting to have
celebrating that, but what's
men.
next?
Yeah, so that's interesting. How to have another man, for men to be able to support each other in that aspect and keeping each other, making sure that they're clear and checking them on the performance when they're performing in the game, right? The game of life and relationships or whatever the goals are. Uh, do you think it's, or why does it seem to be easier for men to have that type of support, and then women sometimes struggle?
And that's normally most of the most of the time I found that women tend to have more support
You think so? Then men?
on the, yeah, but then emotions get involved sometime. Not stereotyping, but most of the time, emotions get involved. But I tend to see women tend to pull together a lot quicker
Mm-hmm.
um, than guys. Guys tend to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do them. I got this, and play this macho.
Yeah.
And when you're comfortable with yourself, then you can show that vulnerability with your boys, and then they can truly support you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I found with especially my core set of guys. We went through college together, and have been support.
Yeah.
Like, he's been up late helping me put together graphics to go to meets to send off stuff, and just teaching me the game because he's expert in that. I
Yeah.
have other guys that when I'm going through relationship stuff, I can call them. They're gonna give me the challenging question: what are you doing? And not just like, yeah, she doing this or what. Like, no, what did you do to cause this? And when you have a core set of people who are not just agreeing with everything you say and encourage you down the wrong path,
Yeah.
man, the growth, it's so
Oh,
much easier to be determined.
absolutely. So, how do you suggest for other men? Because I know that there are, and we talked about this a little bit. You hit on it about men maybe having, this is my word, right? Having the ego and not being able to go to another guy and say, "Hey, these are my struggles," or again, whether it's something in their business or careers or relationships. So, what tips or what can you share to another man to say, hey, the importance, or how can they find someone that they can, have that support system with?
Most of the time they have them, but they did they we don't take time to look and really see who are the people giving me the best advice.
Yeah.
When I'm in a relationship, who are the people encouraging me to do the right things in my relationship?
Yeah.
Whether they're single or not, whether they're been out here, if the information that they're sharing with you, you cannot share with somebody else because you feel like it's petty, then
Yeah.
this person don't have my best interest.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and we have to surround ourselves with people who have our best interest, and also we have to make sure that we have their best interest, because it's not about what we can get, but also what we give.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I
And
love
that's
that.
the key.
That is definitely the key. That was good. That was good. That was good. All
You
right.
got me getting excited. I get excited.
That's right. This just means you have to come back, right? We'll have to dive
Yeah,
into some
yeah,
other
definitely.
topics. I love the topic of support and how men support other men. So let's keep that in, because I'm certain with your expertise that you could drop
Mhm.
some other gems in helping us to get our mind, M-I-N-D, in the game, right? Understanding
Yes.
better those relationships and really getting your personal performance together. So thanks again for being here, everybody. This was Mr. Nicholas Powell. If they want to connect with you, where's the best place to find you?
Every day, my goal is to send out something that's going to help to empower people.
Yeah,
So, Instagram is one of my favorite social media point where I post motivational quotes. It can be related to sports, it can be related to performance, any type of performance. The
yeah,
information I send out, if you can take it and apply it to your life, and hopefully it'll help you to take your game to the next level.
yeah, yes,
So my social media handle is It's a Mind Game.
mm,
Same thing for Instagram, It's a Mind Game. And then on Facebook and LinkedIn, it's Nicholas R Powell. And
okay.
the R, which we'll talk about, stands for greatness.
Oh, really?
The R stands for greatness.
Now, how does R stand for greatness?
So growing up, my mom used to tell me I could be anything I want to be.
Hmm.
And for me, R means anything I want it to be. Because when you put your mind to it, and I got this kind of from Will Smith. Will Smith have a video where he says 1 plus 1 equals 2 if I want it to equal 2. But 1 plus 1 can mean anything I want it to be. Because when we put limits on ourselves, uh, I just had a moment. When we
Okay.
put limits on ourselves, we go to that glass ceiling. But when R stands for greatness, I break through that glass ceiling. So there's no limit I put on anything that I put my mind to. When I started my business, they told me that sports psychology is not catching on. It'll never catch on. And in 2016, I'm standing in the athlete village with the Jamaica national team as an independent consultant.
Yes. Say that.
2017, I'm in London at the hotel as an independent consultant.
Yes.
Had I listened to those limits and told me R stands for R and it can be greatness, then I wouldn't be at those places.
Yes.
I wouldn't be traveling the world for somebody who I'm saying.
Yeah, I love
So
it.
when you on stuff, that's why when somebody set a goal, I never tell them you can't achieve that goal. It's gonna take work,
Yes.
but if you put your mind to it, you can achieve just about anything you want. And that's why the name of my company is Mind. Tagline is mentally. I can show you how R stands for greatness.
Yeah. I love
Making
it.
sense. Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's a crazy concept, but I get it. I
It
get it.
works. It absolutely works. I adjusted your title and made sure that I put the R in there, okay? Because we want to make sure that we give
Hey, I love it. I love it.
okay, proper credit there.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
you all. So thank you so much. So Nicholas, at the end of the mental spot, because we're talking about life, love, and leaving the toilet seat up, just got a couple
Okay.
questions for you. So you mentioned before that you were single. Is that by choice or by circumstance?
A little bit of both.
Okay, that's fair. We'll leave it right there. We'll leave it
A bit of
right
both.
there. All right. And when is the last time you cried?
Ah, know this, but when my youngest was just born,
Yeah, that's crying
he was
moment.
born January 2nd, and she's a rainbow baby, so it was definitely an emotional moment for both myself and her mom,
Yeah,
to see what we have been through, especially what her mom had been through to get to this point.
yeah.
So it was really emotional. So even though they didn't see me cry, it definitely did touch me to know that
Awesome.
she was here, healthy and
Yeah,
doing well.
yes,
Yes.
awesome. I love it. And what's the biggest legacy you want to leave for your daughters?
Generational wealth. And the determination to do anything, go after anything. So I'm definitely trying to leave that in my example by one, because I couldn't read that well, I make sure that they see me reading consistently.
Yes.
I make sure she see that I never give up. You
Yes.
know, I fail, but she'll never see me quit.
Yes.
I had the pleasure of in 2011, while she was graduating from pre-K, I was graduating with my master's 2 days later, and we were able to share that moment. So it's something I definitely want her to see, that with anything you put your mind to, you can achieve it or come that close to it. And I want to keep leading by example for them.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, last question. Where is the one place that is a must visit for anyone coming to Jamaica? Let us know.
Oh my goodness. Most people can think about the beach, but if you're into sports, You definitely want to check out the Boys and Girls Championship in March.
Okay.
The high school track and field championship. Picture the Super Bowl, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Multiply that by 10. And
Wow.
if you don't believe me, go on YouTube and pull it up for the Jamaican Boys and Girls Championship in Jamaica. And picture every school with a drum and playing all type of music throughout the championship with some of the fastest athletes from age 12 all the way up.
Wow.
Just phenomenal. That environment, and if you can succeed in that environment, this is why we're performing so well. So being in that atmosphere and just watching the energy,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So I'm not even talking about the beach, or I'm talking about going to the Boys and Girls Championship in Jamaica in March. It's phenomenal.
That's the place to be.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, Nicholas, again, thank you so much for joining us inside the mental spot. Yay, 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 yay.
Yeah, it was
Appreciate
definitely
it,
a
appreciate it.
pleasure. Thank you for having me,
Yeah,
and thank you everybody for checking in. I hope I was able to share some
yes.
value bombs that will help you to take your game to the next level and get your mind back into the game.
Yes, I love it. I love it. All right, stay with me for a second. I'm going to talk to them. And
Okay.
again, everybody, if you want to get in contact with him, I just want to make sure that I let you know again. His information is, let's see, where do we have you here? Here's your email. You can email him at analyst06@gmail.com or follow him on Instagram and Twitter at It's a Mind Game, and anywhere on Facebook or LinkedIn under Nicholas R Powell, where the R stands for greatness. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, you all. Thank you so much. This has been episode number 6 of The Mental Spot, where men talk about life, love, and leaving the toilet seat up. I am your host, Coach Shaquan, certified relationship coach. Please, this video will be available on Facebook and on YouTube. So share with your followers. Let them know that they need to get their mind, M-I-N-D, in the game and understanding how your performance can impact your relationships. If you would like to connect more with me, here is a link to my calendar. Go to calendly.coachshaquan /connect, and we can find some time to connect if you have any questions about coaching or anything that we've discussed on this call tonight in regards to relationships. And as always, do you need to check your belief system? Check Your BS is a movement that I've created to help you challenge what you think, check what you believe, and choose the life and the relationships that you desire. To find out more, go to checkyourbs.com. Thank you all so much again for joining me inside the mental spot, and we will be back next week with another special guest. I hope that this information has been helpful, and we will talk with you all soon. Ready? Peace.